Welcome, my gorgeous souls, and welcome, my gorgeous Aquariuses. Um, this is going to be your May 2025 reading. This is for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising. Many of you are intuitively guided to the readings now, and I thank you for paying attention to your intuition, as do your spirit guides who I read through. Um, you could certainly be in love with the Capricorn. Why did I just say Capricorn? Aquarius. Maybe someone's in love with a Capricorn. Um, but if you are in love with the Capricorn, platonically, romantically, same thing. Your guides know you're here. And I know your guides will use whatever means they can to get a message to you. So, I mean, perfect, perfect vehicle. So Aquarius, we are going to use a few different decks. We will let Mother Mary have the honor of opening up your reading. We will use the Gilded Tarot if I can pick it up, to clarify and go deeper. And for your main spread, we're using the newest deck to the family. I always forget the name. Guardian Angel Messages Tarot. And I have to say, when I got that, I also got a free calendar, which I thought was going to be a wall calendar. Um, but it's not. It's like this. And so I decided I'm going to read one for whatever day I'm doing, whoever reading I'm doing. So I have a long lasting, deeply caring relationship in which my partner and I truly love and support each other. Okay. Interesting. I have to tell you that Sam and I were, I don't know, yesterday was a weird day, and um, we were having like little fights and that, and I came back into my office, which is like my safe haven, um, and something made me read that, and I thought, Sandy, be nice, be nice. So who knows? We will use the major arcanas. One did not want to pull up, which is the Hierophant. Card by the way. It's also about your beliefs. So we'll see if it comes back out. Um, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and bring the lid down. I just got that new light strip. I'm going to do a promotion on it, but I wanted to install it first. So I'm just looking at it through the monitor. Okay. Well, anyway, so that's the newest thing in the office right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin. Let's start with Mother Mary. I do want to tell you that I pre-shuffle the decks always, um, once I know what sign I'm going to do. And I'm just meditating on your sign. And I have to say, as I was shuffling the decks, the Knight of Pentacles, which is great news, and the Fool are coming out. So I have a feeling I was meant to see that, number one, because I don't feel like there's really any accidents once I started reading. And I feel like your reading starts way before I push play, um, or record. But anyway, so the Knight of Pentacles talks about something is coming in at the right time. It's like it's truly divine timing. It's truly meant to enhance your life, but then the Fool following it. So it's like it's opening something up for you. Now, we'll see if they come back out, but boy, do I know I was meant to see it. Okay. Mother Mary. Well, that did not take long at all. We have beautiful enthusiasm. That's kind of the Fool's energy. Enthusiasm. Whatever I am most passionate about is the direction I flow. Some of you may simply have a question. Like there may be something that you want to do. Maybe someone you want to be with. This is definitely recommending following that passion. Your passion is probably speaking to you on purpose, if that makes sense. And what I mean by that is, I feel like our guides will activate certain chakras when certain energy is coming towards us. So, to me, this just feels like get excited. Get excited. Something passionate is heading your way. Okay, let's bring in the major arcanas. Give him a little shuffle, a little cut. All right. So, for anyone who's new, first of all, welcome to our beautiful soul family. I use these really for like bullet points, but I just love them in a reading now. We have hello, your spiritual team, judgment. So when you see judgment, you're being called to the present moment. Interesting because enthusiasm and judgment both feel like energy of the present moment. Now, judgment comes out, it's your spiritual team. It means that they're sending you some signs, and well, I have a feeling it's something you're going to be passionate about. So maybe something comes in first, and then the question, should I? Do you feel passionate about it? This does speak about a rebirth. I always love it when judgment comes out in a reading because it means to me that there are going to be signs, and these are signs you want to pay attention to. We have the moon, card of Pisces, ruler of Cancer. The moon can talk about uncertainties. Sometimes not knowing can be fearful, but maybe sometimes like just going for the ride. Because the moon can also speak about very dreamy type energy. So just allowing myself to go for the ride. Hmm. What ride are you going to? Okay. We have temperance. Okay, that's divine timings, my friend. So interesting that you have judgment calling you to the present moment. You have the moon that certainly, it can represent a time period. Something may happen around a full moon. But then temperance, which is, first of all, patience. That's her main message, like, patience, my dear. And it's so that whatever temperance is bringing together, that she has the time to bring it together. In this image, she is mixing what looks like loving waters between two cups. So I often feel like she's getting two soulmates ready, but we'll see. This is about trusting in divine timing. And you know what else I love about temperance? It really means that you can just let go of control. Like like whatever's coming towards you should make you very happy, but also like there's no need to control it. Like divine's got this. We have chariot, double Cancer on the board, by the way. We have beautiful the sun. Interesting because we have the moon, which is feminine energy. We have the sun, which is the masculine energy. We have temperance mixing these loving waters. So, is she mixing the loving waters of the masculine and the feminine? What's beautiful about the sun is it's your illuminator. I did not plan on taking this many cards, but very seldom do I refuse them. I keep moving them. I want to make sure you can see everything, though. Um, but the sun really is your illuminator. Interesting, I'm noticing the twins. Hmm. Some of you may be in a twin relationship. Sun's about playfulness, enthusiasm by Mother Mary and the sun. It just feels like it's going to be a really good time. Like whatever's coming in next, I feel like I want to say yes. The chariot really it talks about unlimited potential. And the one thing you want to remember with the chariot, it is your intentions that tell the chariot where to go. So, if like you really believe in divine timing, if you trust within your spiritual team, then this is really signifying that whatever opening up for you, first of all, opening with the sun's energy, there's nothing to fear here. Look at this double Leo on the board. Strength card. Interesting. And then we have the High Priestess. So it's like the High Priestess mirroring Judgment. Wow, I didn't realize we had so many cards. So your intuition mirroring your spiritual team. I have a feeling some of you have overcome something. Probably wasn't easy. Strength card talks about that, like really looking within oneself, knowing oneself, the good, the bad, the ugly. The sun right there, it's going to illuminate everything. But if it's illuminating something that maybe you're not proud of or what have you, I feel like it's the opportunity to evolve from that energy. This is perfect energy for not missing the signs. Some of you, the chariot is the vehicle that's going to take you to your next stop, so to speak. Hmm. Bring it down a little bit more. All right. Let's bring in the main spread, and it will certainly let us know. But I feel like it's telling its own little story at the same time. Again, you're being called to the present moment. That's probably the most important message right now. You're being called to the present moment. There's some type of rebirth that's going to happen. It's happening in the light. There's nothing to fear here. And it almost feels like a good reward because I feel like some of you, if you look at the strength card just mirroring the moon, um, it feels like you yourself have evolved. Like you yourself are being very honest with yourself. I feel like there's no other way to be. I see nothing that really speaks of fear. Really, quite the opposite. The only thing may be the moon. You know, maybe it is just about taking a step forward, but we'll see. All right, let's give him a cut. Temperance would say, just step out of the way and let me have control. Judgment would say, just clear your mind, pay attention, because I'm going to send you major signs. I feel like there's no way you're going to miss these signs. And by the way, if you do miss a sign, your guides will send it again, bigger. And if you miss it again, they'll send it again, even bigger. Almost to the point where I can't deny this is a sign. But listen, they're here working in your favor. All right. As is temperance, as is Mother Mary. All right. Aquarius. Aquarius. One of my favorite um musicals. All right. I felt like there was two cards. All right, we open with the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles is that fine art of give and take, charity, generosity, windfall. Hello. Could be some money coming your way. Remember, Mother Mary's asking you to get excited. You know, you may not even know why, but I feel like if you don't know why, then you should just feel like, I just feel like something good is going to happen. All right, we have ego, ego, illusion, dependency, materialism. That is the devil's energy. There's your Capricorn. Let me tell you, when the devil shows up, it's interesting because it's coming under the moon. It can certainly cast illusions. It can make one feel like they're stuck. Even if you look at this image, you can see this person. Well, it's a bird, but it's really a representation of you in this cage. They feel like I can't leave the cage, right? I'm stuck here. Yet the door is wide open. So, I mean, what a beautiful devil, but nonetheless. So, can I free myself? Did I think I was trapped? Some of you with the Six of Pentacles before that could certainly talk about, someone you tried to help, tried to give them a hand up, maybe didn't turn out the way you'd hoped. But maybe it wasn't supposed to at the same time. And I say that because I feel like judgment has something else in mind, as does divine. All right, well, let's keep going. But I find it interesting that I said Capricorn, and Capricorn is your second card. With the strength card here also, it can talk about things that you yourself had to overcome. There could have been things that tempted you. I would say, something you can ask yourself is, have you been in a repeat pattern with someone or something? Because I feel like this is giving you the ability not to just overcome, but I also feel to thrive. Okay. We have Ten of Wands. Look at this person. Head is down. What to say here? Overworked, stressed, imbalanced. Ten of Wands is like having all the responsibility on your shoulders. I often feel in the Ten of Wands, someone is secretly or subconsciously wishing for a tower. It's like you doing everything. All right. And then we have the Emperor. I feel like some of you are quitting a job. I feel like some of you are tired of working for, let's just say, a company or a person where I feel like you're not getting your fair share. Here you are overworked. And I don't feel like everyone is overworked, but it does speak about, I mean, you can see like behind it is like this dirty kitchen. It's like, oh my God, I worked all day. I got to come home and clean, cook dinner. I just simply feel if I'm not getting the appreciation I deserve, and listen, I feel like this is really talking about someone who, it's like you gave and gave and gave to the man, so to speak. And, it reminds me of when I was younger. I forget where I was working. And they offered me, I was young. They offered me a supervisor position. And I got all excited and I said, What's the raise with that?" And they said, "Oh, there's no raise." And I said, "There's no raise, but you want me to do more work." So I turned it down. I was like, I see no reason to accept that. I'm just looking at the Emperor. The Emperor's coming into the sun. So to me, the Emperor, that's good news. Now, the Emperor, for some of you, can certainly represent a boss. But I have to say, I feel like this is more about, I feel like the boss is in the Ten of Fire, the Ten of Wands. And again, that energy of feeling stuck. But yet, the Six of Pentacles is saying there's a potential windfall. So I feel some of you, like if you've been thinking about starting a business, or maybe you have, but maybe maybe you've been laying the groundwork and not really seeing the fruits of your labor. Well, it feels like you're going to start seeing the fruits of your labor. You know, I feel like in a Ten of Wands, enough is enough. I've had enough. So the Chariot, quite beautiful above it, right? Moves you out of it. But it's you. It's your intentions. Again, moving that chariot. And I feel like if someone has a business, well, the sun is shining on it. The sun is shining on you and your abilities. Maybe you just needed to trust within you. All right, well, let's keep going. But I also want to say, again, with the moon and the sun, we have the feminine, the masculine. But the emperor to me would represent the masculine. So we'll see. Wow. Transformation, realization, life change, liberation, liberation. Beautiful. So that is the death card. That speaks of endings. But it really is so something new can begin. I love that it says realizations. So I don't feel like this is anything, like I feel like you have the power here. Like it's you making this transformation. It's you having this realization and then liberation. I love that together. And a life change. All right, we have the Knight of Wands. Fast moving energy, full of passion, desire, adventures, mirroring your spiritual team. Like something is heading your way and it's heading sooner versus later. Again, another reason why I feel like judgment is like, I need your attention now. I even love the Knight of Wands under where it says windfall, because that feels like the Knight of Wands feels like over and over again. So it's like you are going on this adventure, Aquarius. Where are you going? Who is going with you, if anyone? Who will be there? Whatever it is we need to know. We have the King of Pentacles. Okay, well, coming under ego, again, the devil. It could certainly represent Capricorn. Prosperous, generous, successful. We have the Seven of Wands under the Ten of Wands. Look at you defending yourself. But it feels like it's not giving you the results that you'd hoped for. Hmm. Listen, something happened that feels a little overwhelming. This may be something that has been going on for a while, but I feel like this is an opportunity to change that. Do I feel like you might have to be a little bold? I do. But again, the beautiful spiritual guidance that you have, like, I really feel there's nothing to fear, but taking chances it can be hard. Yet, I feel like with the Knight of Wands opening up this line, again, that's passion that's coming in. We have the Queen of Swords. Well, there you are, right under the Emperor. Brilliant, experienced, humorous. We have the Hermit, part of Virgo. We are in the year of the Hermit. I find it interesting it's coming under the Death card. The Hermit, introspection, self discovery, mentorship. Mentorship, I have to tell you, when, well, look at this. Oh, wait, there's two cards here. We have beautiful, the Nine of Cups, and then we have the Magician. So, what I was going to say is in the Hermit's energy, when it talks about like a mentor, um, when one comes out of the Hermit's energy, and that means that, I've reflected upon my life, like I'm pretty clear about what it is I want and what I don't want. I feel like some of you, like, you realize that door is open, so you fly out, you leave. Again, what you're leaving seems to, like, listen, something changes your life around because you go from this overwork, over like tons of responsibilities, energy that just feels overwhelming into the Nine of Cups. Well, that's you loving life. Here it says wishes, dreams, happiness. But my point is, I got off my point, is when the hermit emerges from the cave, he really does carries this spiritual light, he and she. And this spiritual light is really to light the way. But I often feel that, well, I feel like, we just naturally want to help others in this type of energy also. But my point, I keep forgetting my point. My point is, because it's a nine, so that's final reflection. This representing 2025, well, the magician is the energy we're moving into. So reflection is important. But then two nines back to back, Nine of Cups, and the nine within the Hermit. It's like some of you have evolved on a spiritual level. And it just feels to me like you are trusting more and more within your spiritual team and within yourself. Again, I feel like you have a lot of wisdom, experience, and it doesn't always have to mean like, the wisdom from books. Like I went to school, that may be part of it. But with the hermit here, it's to me is like spiritual wisdom. And then that moves you into the Nine of Cups. So goodbye, Ten of Swords or Ten of Wands. And hello, Magician. What do I want to manifest today? Manifestation, empowerment, preparation. I can tell you this much. I feel like by the time we get here, it feels like a different life. Because here, I'm happy. Doesn't mean everything is going perfect in my life, but I definitely feel like I solved at least one issue. And I feel like the wishes that come to you in the Nine of Cups are well earned. You know what I mean? Like, number one, I feel like many of you were bold enough to really go within, which I feel like is such an important thing to understand. Go within, know oneself, the good, the bad, the ugly. Also, remember, if I want to manifest something, the best way to do that is be the energy of what I want to manifest. So let's say it's a new job or you want to start a business. Trust within yourself. I often feel like sometimes we don't start like a business because we don't think we know everything, but we don't need to know. Like I feel like you do know a lot, but whatever else you need to know, you'll learn it as you go. All right, let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. We have the Five of Pentacles. Wow. That could be a tower. Lack, worry, assistance. Queen of Wands underneath that. So, Five of Pentacles, not the easiest of energy. It does mean a change. Sometimes it's a change I may not have asked for, or at least maybe my soul or my human part, my human mind didn't think I asked for it. But maybe this is part of a soul's journey. Again, temperance, something is happening in divine timing. It's sooner versus later. Trust your intuition. No matter what this is down here, it really is about trusting your intuition. And I just feel like goodbye, Ten of Wands. Goodbye, heaviness. Goodbye, stress. Even it says imbalance. Well, the Six of Pentacles can talk about that. Six of Pentacles is learning that fine art of give and take. I definitely feel like in the Ten of Wands, you've given and given and given, but it doesn't feel like you're receiving equally. And that's why I feel like some of you, again, it's a new job, it could be a new partner, but we'll see. Again, Nine of Cups down here, feeling good about one's life. The Nine of Cups really speaks about inner harmony, where in the Ten of Wands, I feel like I have anything but inner harmony. So there's a change. But I have to say, I feel like it's more you than anything. It's you. It's like you reclaiming yourself. It's like you saying to whoever and whatever that has put all the responsibility on your shoulders, enough is enough. It's more than I can handle. And again, if it's a job where it's feels like it's all me, but I'm not getting paid equally for what I deserve, I could see some of you moving out of that job and doing your own thing. I don't know why this just popped in my mind, but um it reminds me of like a job that I got fired from and I was like dumbfounded because I didn't deserve it. But I remember thinking to myself, because it was a gym and that's what I worked in. I managed fitness centers and spas, and weight loss for, I don't even know, 30 years. Um, but my point is well, I actually didn't get fired. I got demoted. And it was the same thing. I refused it. I said, no way. But I thought to myself, I could build a gym right next to you and your clientele would come with me. Now, I didn't do that, but the reason why that came to my mind is because I was thinking like Burger King and McDonald's and how they build so close together, right? They're not afraid of their competition. If anything, it's like in your face. I don't know. All right. Let's bring in the Gilded Tarot and let's go deeper. I feel like asking the question, like, what do you want to manifest today? Okay, we're going to take them like they came out. Hello, sun. So, triple Leo on the board. But how beautiful you have the sun is connected to your spiritual team and coming over to Six of Pentacles. It feels like it's very clear. It's illuminating to you what's been fair and what's not been fair. But in the Six of Pentacles, I want to say that I feel like it's a very compassionate and empathetic energy. So it feels like rewards, even if things did not go well. Maybe they weren't meant to. Sometimes the resistance we feel is to push us into, well, what I feel is a soul's desire. And maybe our humanness is like, you know, resistant. But now your spiritual team with temperance, like, we're going to make it so clear. The sun. We have the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups speaks about discontentment and boredom in one's emotional world. I feel like with the sun coming over the Six of Pentacles, and the word that keeps like illuminating to me is windfall. So I definitely feel like it's talking about your money and your ability to create, and something is changing and you have a big part of that. But it feels like in my emotional life is where I may have some dissatisfaction. I mean, I could have dissatisfaction in all of my life, but this is about how to change that. So the Four of Cups speaks about learning to use your spiritual discernment, but it is because there's a cup coming in. And it's coming right from the hand of divine, right to you. What you gonna do? Coming over Capricorn's energy. Huh. Hello, Ace of Pentacles over the Ten of Wands. Now, this feels like the way to get out of that Ten of Wands energy. Ace of Pentacles speaks about something is coming into your physical world. It's truly meant to enhance your world. Windfall. And then the Ace of Pentacles. Wow. I feel. And then the Chariot. It's like, the Chariot just allows it to grow and grow and grow. But I got to know that. Some of you, this cup coming in and listen, it literally is saying this is coming into your physical world. I feel like this is why your spiritual team really is trying to reach you, because these changes, they're happening soon. We have the Ten of Swords, and we have the Three of Wands. Three of Wands is much like Mother Mary's message, enthusiasm. Three of Wands is living in the present moment. It's doing exactly what your spiritual team is asking of you. It's coming over the Death card, which is a card of Scorpio, by the way. I think I forgot to say that. Scorpio's major arcana. But this is like realization, a life change, liberation. So beautiful that the Three of Wands comes over that, because that is your optimism. That is your belief in divine timing. That is you saying, I know my ships will come in, and I know they'll come in the right time, just when I need them. Well, the Ace of Pentacles, the Sun. We have to look one card back, though, at the Ten of Swords, so close to the Ten of Wands. Ten of Swords can certainly speak about a repeat pattern. It is you taking sword after sword in your back. But you have a lot of power over this. Like you can stop this energy if you so choose. There's no way that the Ten of Wands and the Ten of Swords can still exist and then have the Three of Wands. So there is some type of change. But I feel like the Ace of Pentacles is like a big part of that. Especially with the Magician. Like, what do you want to do today? This five, which does speak of change, I can't see many reasons why you would not want change. I'm not saying everyone is like in the Ten of Wands or in the Ten of Swords. I'm sure some of you, it's already happened. You've already made some changes. And if that's the case, I feel like your spiritual team is like just letting you know that you are on the right path. You're on the right track. Not just for this cup that's coming in, but also this abundance that's coming in. All right, let's keep going. Sure. Hello, Ace of Cups, right over the Knight of Fire, the most passionate energy, right? Because the Knight of Cups is about passion coming in quickly. But now we know, by the way, there's that Four of Cups with that cup coming in. Hello. Ace of Pentacles with that promise that I bring something into your physical world. Hello. Now, I don't feel like it's only speaking of love here. Like, I don't want to take away the importance of what I feel like. I feel like this Ace of Pentacles is a few different things. Fine. Hello, Ace of Cups, mirroring your spiritual team. And what's right in between the two? The Sun. You know why I love that? Is because I feel like you don't have to fear that. Like you don't have to say yes. I don't know how you would say no. But you don't have to say yes. That's part of what the Four of Pentacles or the Four of Cups talks about. And remember, it's coming over an illusionary energy. So I feel like the only reason I might say no would be more of something of the past has not been cleared. So I'm kind of still hanging on to that. Hmm. And then we have the Hierophant, card of Taurus. It's a 5. It wants you to just question your belief. Do you keep hope alive? That's what the Hierophant wants you to do. The Hierophant's mirroring temperance. Both energies are of the light. I feel like what this is talking about also, honestly, I feel like anytime anything that comes up that may be a little fearful, I feel like something comes up to change that. So I feel like the fear was for yesterday. The hope and the excitement is for today moving forward. Some of you could have been with someone who just, you know, may have lower vibrational energy. And, we can't fix everyone. And we're not meant to fix everyone. With the Ten of Wands and Ten of Swords so closely, you certainly might have tried. But I feel like a day had to come where you're like, enough is enough. Because again, whatever negative shows up, something positive comes up after that. Do you believe in miracles? Do you believe that a windfall can really happen? Now, if there's a windfall, I mean, of course, it could be like playing the lottery, but I feel like it's more because of you, because of your compassion and your empathy. It's like not allowing someone to take that from you, but also learning like who to give to and who not to give to. So all that will be very clear. I just feel like you do have to be honest with yourself, though. Hello, Star. Your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, right under the Ace of Pentacles. And look at this, the Nine of Cups, fulfillment of wishes. And then the Magician, the ability to manifest what? Your dreams. Wow. And you can have more than one dream, by the way. I feel like in the stars energy, which is your major arcana, by the way, what you want to learn is, I forget what I was just going to say. I don't know what I was going to say, but what I want to say now is, make sure you're putting those intentions out there. You don't have to put, matter of fact, I think it's better not to be like, let's say it's talking about love because we had that on the board, but we also have money on the board. It's being open. It's like putting those intentions out there, but know that they are being answered. They may be answered a little differently than you expect, but it would only be better. How do I love that your major arcana is connected to the Ace of Pentacles, the Magician, the Nine of Cups, and the Chariot? Literally, I feel like saying, what do we want to do today? Oh, I know what I was going to say about the star. When you remember that to bring these dreams about, you really are working hand in hand with divine. You know, it's like divine's like, here's what it is, what your wishes are. But then knowing that you do have to take action steps, it definitely showing that what we're speaking about is actually going to show. All right, well, let's keep going with the Hermit again. Double Virgo. Double Virgo, what? Triple Leo, double Cancer. Um, this may speak about two people. This hermit is it's interesting because this hermit's illuminating this other hermit. So I could see you like helping others to find their own spiritual path because I feel like you find yours, or maybe some of these things like start to truly happen, and now you're really believing in divine timing. And I could see you now taking that beacon of light and shining it for others, especially because it's coming over or under, I'm sorry, the Ten of Swords. But the sun is illuminating that Ten of Swords, and it's like you know what that is now. So I see you now helping others. All right, well, let's keep going. Or you're literally illuminating a Virgo. All right, we have beautiful the Four of Swords. It's like healing, right? Spiritual healing. It's the spiritual healing for the human condition. Beautiful energy if you yourself are a healer, which many of you are. And all of a sudden I'm thinking to myself, I feel like Aquarius is one of the best signs to have a business of their own because you are free thinkers. So having other people like telling you exactly what it is you need to do every day, I feel like that would get old. Like, of course, some of us have to work 9 to 5s. I had to work a 9 to 5. Well, I worked much longer than that, but you know, but now I have my own business. Now I set my own hours. Doesn't mean I work less, but I love what I do. All right, we have the Queen of Pentacles, and then we have the Page of Cups. Page of Cups is your inner child energy. Illuminating the sun. This page is literally holding a cup in his hand. Here is this cup. A page can speak about what's in the atmosphere that has yet to reach you, but its energy you should be able to start to feel. So there's that cup. I mean, what an abundant reading. Yes, it does look like you went through a lot, but I feel like you're coming out the other side stronger than you've ever been. I hope you can feel that within yourself. If nothing else, I feel like this is about reclaiming your life, your power, knowing your power. And, if some of you are doing any type of healing business, I often feel the best healers are the ones who have been through it, right? Because that hermit coming under the 10 of cups, well, or the 10 of swords, I'm sorry, it doesn't feel like it has an effect on the hermit because the hermit now understands it. I have a feeling two people, because this Four of Swords is mirroring the Ace of Cups. So, healing over love, but it's because you have this spiritual clarity that I feel like you probably didn't have before. This is all mirroring the high priestess, your intuition. The good news, well, there's a lot of good news, but I feel like the more you pay attention to your intuition, the easier you find these blessings. And I'm calling them blessings, but each one, every ace here, you deserve it. Like you earned it. It's like the changing of the guards. What was once heavy, hard, maybe even untrustworthy, I reclaim my power, maybe step by step. Maybe I start with how I make my money. I feel like the love part, you don't even have to worry about because I feel like, again, it'll come in divine timing. Makes me point back to the Three of Wands where I'm perfectly okay with that. And mirroring the sun, it's like it's your time. That's what it feels like. It is your time. It's your time to thrive. For some of you, it's your time to fall in love. And I have to say, everything that's following the Ace of Cups is beautiful energy. Hierophant. To me, it means that if you're falling in love, then you're falling in love with someone whose morals are very much like yours, their belief system. And I'm not even talking religion, could be very close. It doesn't have to be like, let's say, like I'm Catholic and they're Jewish. I don't feel like that would come in between. Hmm. Okay. I think I want to look at this Ace of Cups. You know what else I love? Is I feel like if there's any broken pieces left, whether it be you or someone else or both of you, this is great energy of being able to heal those. Sometimes we fall in love with someone who just is incapable of giving us what it is we need or deserve. But that doesn't mean that everyone's like that. And I feel like we have to understand that. And I'm saying that because I don't feel like this Ace of Cups is coming in any type of negative energy. Look at this judgment again. Well, that pulls me right back to Temperance, who's mixing two cups, not one, but two. I have a feeling Temperance is getting two people ready. And this is why we're seeing judgment again. Can you trust this Ace of Cups with your life? Because your spiritual team is what's ushering all this in. All right, let's see if anything else wants to come out with that. We have the Eight of Pentacles. All right, so the Eight of Pentacles to me, when we speak about love, I feel like what it speaks to is if I have a question of, can this love really work out? Can it be something that will last, hopefully, a lifetime? Eight of Pentacles would say if you're willing to put your focus on it, then it will only grow and grow and grow. Eight is about a new beginning, which kind of makes me feel like this love is new. Yet I also want to say, because Temperance, I know that she's mixing the loving waters of soulmates. I know it. I feel it. Um, I forget what I was going to say there. I know that drives some of you crazy, but that's literally what it means. If you're willing to put your focus on it, it's only going to grow. All right. We have the moon and the three of swords. So that would be the issue. That would be probably the only reason why I may say no. And the moon next to that. So I feel like for some of you, the uncertainty could drive you a little crazy. But you can't plan love ahead. You know what I mean? And it may not even start as love. It may start as an introduction, some type of communication. And then this realization, like a feeling. So I feel like if I am hesitant, then I merely need to look back to understand that the Three of Swords, so prior heartache, can definitely have effect on what wants to open up next. And judgment is probably pointing that out for you. I don't feel like that's everyone, because I feel like for many, you have cleared the past. So for those who haven't, I feel like it's just simply stating that, some of you just might be leery with like new beginnings. Like, how do I know this love will work out? Well, that's what the Eight of Pentacles is telling you. If you focus on it, if both focus on it, which, listen, if temperance is involved, I feel like you both will. And, honestly, I do feel like this is talking about for the rest of your life. But I have to keep in mind that each has free will. But yet, at the same time, it feels like your spiritual team is getting you ready and really illuminating like anything that may get in your way, like anything that may make you say no when what you really want to do is say yes. So all that is being illuminated, but it's so you can clear it. It's not to relive it. Sometimes it's just simply to understand that, okay, so I had a bad relationship. I had love that did not go well, ended up with me in a broken heart. Well, you have the Four of Swords here. There's that healing. And I do feel like sometimes a love comes in. We may not be completely healed. I feel like we're never really completely healed. But it's those broken little pieces that I feel like someone can come in and us for them also. Remember, this is equal vibration. Not one's lower, one's higher. They're in the same vibration. Because if they weren't, this would not be the right time, right? But everything is calling you to the present moment. Okay. I want to look at the Ace of Pentacles. Well, hello, Seven of Pentacles. So, Seven Pentacles to me, first of all, the first message is patience. Just like temperance, patience, my child. Why? Because what I'm doing is making sure that everything is fair, that everything is equal for you. Seven of Pentacles is also like your tree of life. It's interesting, we're looking at the Ace of Pentacles, and this tree is filled with pentacles. I feel like many times some of these seeds are predestined. So that means something that's meant to happen in divine timing. I feel like it means that whatever is happening, whatever coming into your physical world, whatever opportunities show, like you're ready. It's almost like you're born for this. But I feel like what this is saying is some of your soul's intention are coming to fruition just as they were meant to. Sometimes we got to look at the past in like with a different perspective and look at it in like, okay, well, that wasn't easy. Well, what did I learn? How have I grown from that? Do I have a tendency to let people walk all over me? And if I do, how long is that going to last? Right? Because again, I feel like this is you wanting change also. This isn't magic. Like these changes, these aces, it's because you're ready for them. It's because you deserve them. I feel like your soul knows that. And now I got to get to that human mind. But look at the star right underneath that. First of all, your major arcana, and it's all about your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. And then the magician literally right below that. What do you want to manifest today? I'm even seeing the king and queen connected. Yes, there are pentacles, but I wouldn't even worry about that. To me, it feels like-minded energy. And I feel like we all got to come back down to this Nine of Cups, where, first of all, it's inner harmony. So I feel like that inner harmony comes from some of the changes up here. And then it is about fulfillment of wishes. And then the wish card comes out connected to it, but also connected to the magician. I hope you see your power in this reading. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel so proud of you. I know you're not all where you want to be yet, but this feels like the guideline to get you there. I got to just learn not to accept lower vibrational energy. If I myself am working on myself, well, then why would I lower my vibration to be with someone else? And by the way, I feel like the more spiritual clarity you have, the easier you can read energy. And that's really what it's about. Like this page, right? Love is in the atmosphere. Well, here is that Ace of Cups. And by the way, two spiritual teams. So I feel like that's temperance, bringing these cups together. It is a soulmate, and a soulmate means that you know each other. You know each other for eternity. You know each other's souls. It doesn't mean it's instant recognition, but many times it is. There's something you feel like this feels different. This feels different. This feels good. And I feel like if you have any fear, just take a step forward. The sun literally is helping to illuminate everything. The sun is very playful energy, as is the Page of Cups. And I feel like that's what it's saying. Allow that inner child to come out. Allow it to have some fun. Allow it to have some adventures. Because adventures is what it looks like you're heading towards. Okay, let's bring out the clarifying love situations. What I love about this deck is it doesn't just talk about love. Give him a cut. All right. Icy goodbyes. Amidst unclear paths and frozen moments, the hardest choice is leaving for clarity. Icy goodbyes. Hmm. Hmm. Well, that has anything to do with the Ten of. Look at that, the way everything came out. That has anything to do with the Ten of Wands and the Ten of Swords. Then yes, goodbye. All right, we have reciprocal lines. Navigate boundaries with grace. Mastering the art of give and take in harmony. Give and take right here, your first card. Navigate boundaries with grace. Mastering the art of give and take in harmony. Harmony. Well, when I think of soulmates, I think of harmony. Okay. And then we have hidden thorns. By the way, so depending on which direction the card comes out, there's a message. I was going to say on either side, but on top or bottom. Okay. Look beyond the romance to discern true intentions. Hmm. And then we have one more. Children are involved or someone is being immature. Wow. Hmm. It's interesting because you have so much playful energy here. And I feel like this Three of Swords was because someone was immature. Maybe we both were. But I feel like you have evolved. It's showing that, and maybe someone else hasn't. Maybe that's why there's an icy goodbye. But I also feel like for some of you, you're giving a boss a goodbye. All right, let's bring out the romance angel since we do have love. Love and money. I don't want to take away from what I feel like feels like a windfall for you. Whether that be like a lot of money at one time or an opportunity that helps you increase your money. Some of you, if you own a business, you may really start seeing the fruits of your labor. And for those who may, like maybe one of your wishes is starting a business, I feel like your spiritual team is 100% behind you. Okay. Codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. Well, with the devil here, I can certainly talk about that. Because the devil does speak about temptations. But, it's interesting because she's looking right back at the Three of Swords. And I feel like for some of you, it can speak about a relationship that became codependent. I probably stayed maybe for the wrong reasons. Sometimes some of us feel it's easier to stay than leave, right? Because again, how do I know how things are going to turn out? Well, I feel like you've had enough, number one. This kind of feels like what might have been a repeat pattern. You may have given someone plenty of chances. And let's just say that, again, I did feel like lower vibration, higher vibration. So codependency would be of a lower vibration. But part of me is feeling like the main reason is because change, just making change. All right, well, let's keep going. Getting to know you, getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. Long discussions. And I love this image because I definitely feel like this is a man wanting to win this woman over. But there is a child here. And we even have that children may be involved. But I feel like this man understands, like, to reach this woman, I've got to accept this child also, right? We are a package deal. But I feel like he knows that. And look how the girl is just like looking at him. The woman is laughing. So she's enjoying this company. But it's interesting how the little girl is just like, what's your intentions with my mother? Pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. Interesting. Mirroring codependency. I feel like just be careful because because some of you, I do feel like you may have been in a repeat pattern with someone. And one of the reasons could be because it's easier to stay than change. But yet, I feel like if by chance this person makes a repeat appearance, well, the red flags feel like they will be, I feel like almost impossible to ignore. Why? Because I feel like your spiritual team is like, we have your person. We have retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. Some of you, I feel like, it could have been a marriage. This person has a wedding dress on. I do like that she's in nature. I feel like she's walking with one of her spiritual teams, probably like a father figure that's crossed over. And I feel like she's receiving guidance, clarity, comfort. Like, what do I do, Dad? What do I do? And I feel like Dad would be like, don't go back. Don't go back to what was not working. And then we have very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. Very soon. Look at that. You know, I feel like for some of you, there's going to be an option. There may be someone coming back who I feel like, again, like personally, from what I'm feeling, and it's what I'm feeling more than what the cards are telling me, but I feel this sense of like if I give someone another try, then I'm just going to end up in the Three of Swords again. But I feel like that's what the red flags are about. And maybe even the realization like, was I codependent? So I feel like special part of your spiritual team, someone very special, is stepping forward to help you. I feel like, it does feel like a father figure because I feel like this overwhelming love for you. And I feel like they want to turn your head to the future, not to the past. I feel like they're telling you that this love is going to come in and they want you to trust. Clearly decide what it is you want so it comes to you now. Well, I don't feel like you want the Three of Swords. I don't feel like you want the Ten of Swords. I feel like you want the Ace of Cups, but you want it to be true. Well, judgment wouldn't usher in this Ace of Cups if it wasn't true. All right, I just want to do one more round. Then I think I'll let it be. This could be the one. This could be the one. Express your love. Go ahead and make that romantic gesture, and you deserve love. I feel like that's what this beautiful spiritual advisor is trying to tell you, that you are lovable. You deserve the highest form of love. Yes, you have to be willing to give it also. Excuse me one second. Okay, sorry about that. Um, what was I going to say? I feel like I just feel like you have some major changes coming in, but they feel like major opportunities. I feel like clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. I feel like it's talking about everything, not just love. And I even love that this could be the one. You already met the romantic partner you seek. Now, do I feel like it's someone who put dagger after dagger in your back? I don't. I do feel like, and I felt this right from the beginning of the reading, that we were going to be talking about soulmates. So I feel like this is a soulmate, and you would already know this person. Again, there will be like a soul recognition, but in its time, like taking a step forward, because this feels like it's going to be passionate, exciting, adventuresome, like almost unbelievable. And it may all start with one simple little date or one simple little conversation. But again, I feel like who's ever coming in, they're willing to put that focus in it. Like they're willing to win you over, even if you have children. Like I feel like this feels like someone who would love your children and show them love. You know what I mean? Like show them. I feel like if you have children, you wouldn't have it any other way. So I don't know, Aquarius. I don't know why I'm saying I don't know. I do know. Um, I feel like the best advice I could give you right now is just to bring your attention to the current moment, to get excited for your potential of your tomorrows. Know that you have a lot to do with that. I feel like there's a sense of reclaiming your life, reclaiming your own power, and the rest just seems to follow suit. I feel like judgment, because we have two judgments and we have temperance mixing the soulmates, making sure that they're on equal vibrational energy. So it is about divine timing, but it's something that you can let go of. That's the main thing. And that's exactly what you're doing in the Three of Wands. And then beautiful healing, spiritual healing. But maybe both of you are or have that tendency. Let's say both of you have the tendency to want to help. I feel like both would have. I already know that you have a compassionate heart, but I feel like so would the other person. It's probably different than maybe anything you've experienced. Can it be someone you already know in this lifetime? I won't leave that off the table. But listen, I feel like it's very clear that if someone is returning who did put dagger after dagger in your back, maybe you've given them a few opportunities. I really want you to pay attention to codependency because I feel like that's the only reason I would go back. But the red flags, I feel like, will warn you. Like, really, they will warn you. So let's start thinking about the potential of what can be, right? When we think about our own energy, right, we reclaim our own power back. Well, then the universe meets us right where we're at. So, abundance, love, it's all here. Opportunities to begin businesses. Some of you, you're starting to see the fruits of your labor. Um, I feel like this is asking you also, like, you know, to be in a more playful energy. And it doesn't mean like, I'm not going to work, this and that, just a more lighthearted energy, I guess. And yeah, it probably means that I've got to clear the past. But that's what this year is all about. This is the final year of a 9-year cycle. And then we move into the magician's energy. But you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait. And I love that the magician's coming next to the Nine of Cups, where it's talking about fulfillment of wishes. Ace of Cups, Ace of Pentacles. Okay, I'm gonna let that be. Um, wow, what a reading. But I'm gonna let that be. Thank you. I hope, there's a lot of information in this reading. So, you may have to watch portions of it again. Um, I feel like it really depends on where your mindset is at. Listen, if you're meant to watch this again, I feel like your guides will put it in front of you again. And the only reason I feel like sometimes we're meant to watch a reading twice is because the first time we may have like our human ears on, it may still be like over in this energy or in the Ten of Wands and the Ten of Swords. It's a little harder to trust within that energy. How do I trust that good things are happening? Look at my life. Well, because you have power over that. You have power over that. All right. What a powerful reading. All right, guys. I love you. I thank you. Interesting. I didn't give any. My brother is in Aquarius. January 24th. He's crossed over. He may be part of our spiritual team. But anyways, I'll leave it there. I love you so much. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye bye.